What's the dumbest thing you've ever done to avoid getting arrested? I have a story that still keeps me up at night, and you're not going to believe what my brain came up with. I wish I was joking. I was at a house party in college. Loud music, too many people. Someone had spiked the punch with cheap vodka. A classic disaster setup. Around midnight, someone ran in screaming that the cops were outside. The energy shifted instantly. People started disappearing. Over fences, through windows, into closets. One guy tried to hide inside a beanbag chair. I needed to vanish too, but I was in the middle of the house, nowhere near an exit, and I could already hear boots on the front porch. I had maybe 10 seconds. My brain, operating at maximum panic and minimum blood alcohol logic, presented me with a plan. It seemed flawless at the time. I executed it immediately with the full confidence of a man who thought he had just discovered a new law of physics. But he hadn't. He was about to learn a very hard lesson about the relationship between walls and visibility. I took my position. I committed. I held my breath and I waited. The front door opened. Flashlight swept through the hallway. I heard footsteps getting closer. My heart was pounding, so I was sure they could hear it. I stayed perfectly still, trusting my strategy with the desperate faith of someone who had no backup plan. A cop walked into the room. His flashlight swept across the furniture, past the couch, past the overturned beer pong table, and then it stopped. He didn't move. He just stood there, staring. I didn't move either. I was committed to the plan. A long silence stretched out. I could hear him breathing. He could probably hear me sweating. I was holding my breath so hard, I was starting to see stars. He called out to his partner, "Hey, can you come here for a second?" His partner walked in. Another silence. Then I heard one of them say something that made my stomach drop. I've been doing this job for 12 years, and I have never seen anything like this. I did not break character. I remained exactly where I was. The first cop walked closer. I could see his boots in my peripheral vision. He stopped about 3 feet away and said, "Son, I need you to tell me what you're doing." I said nothing. He said, "Are you okay? Did someone put you here?" I said, "I'm fine." He said, "Then why are you standing like that?" I said, "Like what?" He said, "Like you're trying to merge with the furniture." I still didn't move. I had committed to the bit, and I was going to follow it to the end. They arrested me for the original complaint, and for being so suspicious that they assumed I must have done something worse. I walked out of that house in handcuffs, still not fully understanding where my plan had gone wrong. Here's the twist. Months later, I ran into that same cop at a coffee shop. He recognized me and burst out laughing. "I still tell that story at training," he said. "You know we were just breaking up the party, right? We weren't arresting anyone. We were sending everyone home. But you were so determined to become one with the wall that we had to take you in. So yeah, the dumbest thing I did to avoid getting arrested, I pressed my entire body flat against a floral patterned wall and tried to become part of the room. And in a way, I succeeded. I became the only man in history to be handcuffed for impersonating wallpaper.